Welcome to the 2013 USCAA Volleyball National Championship game in Canton, New York on the Tourbeau Sports Group Network. And we are glad to have you here. We're coming to you live from SUNY Canton, where the Daemen College Wildcats will take on the Florida College Falcons in a much-anticipated rematch of last year's championship to decide who will be the 2013 USCAA Volleyball National Champion. And before we get this even started, we know this is going to be a very special day for one of the two teams involved. We know that in all likelihood you are pulling for one team or the other here today, and we want to let you know, don't forget, you can capture all the memories and highlights from this national tournament on high-quality audio and video commentary. All matches are available for purchase from Tourbeau Sports. Head over to our website at www.tourbeausports.com for more. And now we give you your first look at the CARC here, the Roos House, as it's more commonly known here, home of the SUNY Canton Kangaroos, but here it has become home away from home for the Florida College Falcons and for the Daemen College Wildcats. Both of them have been extraordinary so far in the tournament, both going undefeated, a perfect 4-0, unblemished in their respective pools. Winners of Pool A are Daemen, winners of Pool B are Florida College, and they have each raced through the single elimination portion of this tournament as Florida knocked off Marygrove earlier in the semifinal after they had beaten UC Claremont yesterday in the quarterfinal over on the Daemen side, blowing through SUNY Canton in straight sets in yesterday's quarterfinal before knocking off Rochester in straight sets here today. So it all culminates here, one last match to crown a champion. John Cabral here with you, glad to be here, joined by Sean Tehan, getting ready for a much-anticipated matchup. We have played 27 other matches to get to this one, and in the end, it's exactly what it was the last time these two teams were together.
It's unbelievable. Yes, Daemen College, they defeat the Falcons 3-1 in 4 games last year on this same floor at SUNY Canton. And Florida College in that game, they won the first game against Daemen College, and then Daemen College came back, won the final 3 games of the match, and they took away the national championship, took away an opportunity from the Falcons to win their 4th straight USCAA title. This should be a great game today, John.
We certainly are expecting that. These two teams very strong in their own different ways. They have met just once in the past. It was last year, Florida College knocking off Daemen, or the other way around, I ought to say. Daemen knocking off Florida College to win the championship. But Florida College also an 8-time champion of this tournament, so neither team is going to be scared of the spotlight.
No, not at all. And Coach Donna Paramore, for the Falcons, she's been here for 15 years. Her team has won 8 of the last 13 USCAA volleyball titles. And then Mark Parisi, this is a program that he took over at Daemen. They hadn't had a winning season since 2004. They get their first winning season in a long time, what seemed to be a long time, in 2009. And all of a sudden, they're the defending national champions. And these two teams are clearly the favorites in each of their respective pools leading up to this matchup.
These two teams have their own distinct sets of strengths. With Daemen, it seems they are the deepest team in this tournament. They seem to have endless, boundless talent on their roster. They've got 16 players dressed out. Each of them have helped them win a match somewhere along the line here. Florida College, not quite as much on the depth, but Florida College extremely good in fundamentals. Also, their tall players up front very seldom make mistakes. Just a team that seems to be very well organized, that seems to play extremely well together, and they're hoping that they won't necessarily need Daemen's depth in order to get the 3 sets that they would need to hoist the trophy at the end of the day.
Florida College is extremely talented up front. It seems like we've been saying the names Savannah Gorman, Malia Kalina, Camille Krim, Devin Jackson. We've been saying those names repeatedly for the Falcons, and obviously for Daemen, they love to rotate girls off the bench such as Chelsea Terser and Lindsay Nowak and Yi Wang and Mackenzie Kanicki and Caitlin Wachi, Brianna and Anthon. All of them are just fantastic for the Wildcats. Very deep bench that Mark Parisi has, but the talent level is definitely very similar. I'm interested to see which team really is better. It's gonna show here shortly at the Roos House.
Well, we're just a few seconds away from the formal introductions, but just to show you we've done our homework, we're going to have Sean Tehan give you those starting lineups first.
All right, thanks, John. For the Falcons, they will be in the the jerseys with the red lettering, black and white. Starting for them, the middle blocker, number 7, sophomore Savannah Gorman. The libero, number 8, senior Olivia Llewellyn. The outside hitter, number 9, junior Malia Kalina. The middle blocker, number 13, senior Charlotte Worsfold. The outside hitter, number 16, junior and captain Devin Jackson. And the middle blocker, number 17, senior Camille Krim. Once again, that's Gorman, Llewellyn, Kalina, Smith, Worsfold, Jackson, and Krim. And they are coached by Donna Paramore in her 15th season, and she is assisted by Forrest Krim. And in the black and white jerseys with the white lettering, the Daemen College Wildcats. And starting for the Wildcats, the setter, number 1, senior captain Kaylee Vasquez. The libero, number 3, senior Paige Tillert. The middle blocker, number 7, junior Yi Wang. The outside hitter and defensive specialist, number 8, senior Brittany Anthon. The outside hitter and right side hitter, number 13, freshman Amber Drismala. And the middle blocker, number 14, sophomore Mackenzie Kanicki. Once again, that's Vasquez, Tillert, Wang, Anthon, Dugan, Scherer, Drismala, Kanicki. And they are coached by Mark Parisi in his 9th season, and he is assisted by his daughter, Lauren Cooper.
Not much you can read into the common opponents, as these two teams have not met this year, but they've both run the table. They've both beaten the Marygrove Mustangs, they've both beaten the Rochester Warriors, they've both beaten SUNY Canton, and they've both beaten UC Claremont. So the 4 games that they have against common opponents, both 4-0. Of course, neither team has dropped a game yet in this tournament, but as they so often say, there can only be one. And we're going to find out which one that is. And something we're excited about coming into this matchup, we were talking about off air before we got started, is it really does not matter how this thing starts to go. A lot of times in tournament play, you'll see a straight set sweep happen because one team loses the first set, gets flustered, and they fold. You know that 2 teams at this level just are not going to allow that to happen, that even if a team does fall down 2-0 and don't play particularly well in those first 2 matches, you're still going to have very much competition on your hands. This one could very easily go the full 5.
100% agree with you, John. And Florida College, I mean, they had, at Florida College and Daemen both, Florida College a little bit tougher of a time with Marygrove earlier today. Daemen College had absolutely zero trouble really with Rochester. I mean, they held Rochester College to 22 points in their first 2 games alone. Rochester College kind of made a run in that 3rd game, but Daemen swept them away 3-0. And, I mean, it's as even as it can get right here. And there's a very good reason why these 2 teams are playing for the national title in the USCAA for the 2nd consecutive year.
Well, these must be the championship edition uniforms for Daemen, because they have not rocked anything that's looked even remotely close to this, as they look more like Penn State Fayette going out on the floor now in the Penn State navy blue and white colors, but that's what they're wearing off to your right. Florida College in their all black uniforms with red numbers and red letters on your left. First serve by Jackson is in play, and we are underway in the 2013 USCAA National Championship, and the Florida College Falcons have got the first point in mere seconds.
Excellent block by their combination of Abby Worsfold and Savannah Gorman, stopping that attack by Mackenzie Kanicki for the Wildcats.
Jackson, the lone captain on this Falcon squad, gets her serve across, set up by Vasquez to the outside. Grismala has her spike attempt blocked, goes up a second time, has that blocked as well. Tillert passes over to the right for Yi Wang. Set out to the far side. Kalina able to get that one off Grismala's hands and in for a point. Kalina, the junior outside hitter, is a major focus point of this offensive attack for the Falcons.
Florida College with a really good start up front, John, and momentum is, I mean, this is the national championship. This is going to be so important to ride Big Mo. That's your best friend, especially at this level of competition.
Right back to Drismala. She gets blocked again, but this time out of bounds. So a first point for Daemen. That's got to ease some of the nerves, some of those butterflies you may be experiencing for a big matchup like this, as they do get that first point on the board. Trail just 2-1, and Kaylee Vasquez, their lead server, serves into the net, so perhaps not on the case of the Butterflies, as Vasquez has been their premier server throughout this tournament.
And Kaylee Vasquez also the lead assist girl on this Wildcats team, averaging nearly 5.5 assists per set coming in to USCAA tournament play.
Paula Rojas with the serve that time. Yi Wang gets that off of Rojas's hands, out of bounds. And Daemen collects its second tally. That'll send Amber Drismala back to serve, a 5'9" freshman outside hitter out of West Seneca, New York, but she has not played like a freshman in this tournament for Daemen, one of the many contributors and one of the big reasons why they're in the position they're in here today. Set in front by Smith to the outside, blocked straight back. Wong collects the kill, and we are tied at 3. Yi Wong is a player who has gained a lot of accolades. They've moved up to an NCAA Division II conference this year, the East Coast Conference, and Wong in NCAA D2 in their first year as a provisional member was Player of the Week in the conference twice.
Yeah, big time, only a junior as well, as the Wildcats get their first lead of this match. And I mean, she was an All-American, second team All-American, and an academic All-American last year as a sophomore. Very, very talented player up front for Daemen College.
Drizmala with an ace there for the lead. First Daemen lead of the day at 4-3. We'll see if she can keep that going. Jackson able to play that one on. A huge kill by Malaya Kalina, and there's plenty more where that came from. Get used to the sight of it.
Yeah, Malaya Kalina has just been vicious. No team has really had an answer for her attacks throughout this entire tournament. I mean, she's just been outstanding. She's on her way to being named to the all-tournament team. I guarantee that.
Big mistake there by Olivia Llewellyn, sending her serve clear of the end line. 5th point for Daemen, and that will put Paige Tillert, their libero, to the line. Tillert wearing the pink libero shirt. Llewellyn on the other side wearing the red one. Set to the outside. Slammed inbounds from the back line by Malaya Kalina. And it's now a 5-5 game, and Kalina will get a chance to serve for the lead.
Isn't this fun already? I mean, the largest lead you're seeing has been 2 points on, on both sides, and it's just a very good volleyball, you can tell.
Spike attempt from the far side, missed by Laura Smith. Now pops straight back in the air, shoving it over the net was number 17, Camille Krim. Miscue there, but they're able to recover. Tillert up front for Vasquez to Wong, and Wong is able to slap that just in front of Rojas. Now here's an interesting twist with Daemen. We talk about Yi Wong and how great she is, but she comes out of the games frequently, as every time her turn to serve comes around, her and Vasquez will come out of the game. Chelsea Tercer and Lindsay Nowak will replace them. Certainly good players in their own right, but Wong, for as great as she is limited in her availability because of the serving situation.
And it's a matter that Mark Parisi would rather have a girl like Chelsea Tercer serving for Daemen College. I mean, it's not a knock against Yi Wong, at all. It's just a compliment really to how deep he can go in that bench.
Out of bounds went that attempt by Caitlin Wachi, so Florida able to tie it back up at 6. Rojas steps out. Abby Worsfald, a sophomore middle back out of Kissimmee, Florida, steps on. Serve offered by Laura Smith, the senior right side hitter from Brandon, Florida. Soft tap by Wachi, that one out of bounds. So Wachi, usually a steady player for this squad, misses out of bounds with consecutive hits and gives Florida the lead at 7-6.
Caitlin Wachi averaging 1.7 kills per set coming into the tournament, 4th best on the team. And
Smith long with her serve. Excellent pull up there by Paige Tillert, who recognized it at the last instant and rolled away from it, allowing it to land out of bounds. Now 7-7 is the tie score. Brittany Anthon to serve, a 5'9 junior outside hitter out of Lancaster, New York. Her serve is also long, so the teams trade cookies, and it's now an 8-7 lead for Florida.
And both these teams also are so good at capitalizing on each other's errors, but right there, a couple serving errors actually cancels out.
I think if you're Florida, you like that exchange. If you have the lead, you want to shorten the match. Big hit from the right. Nowak has been doing this to players all throughout this tournament. Plays a lot taller than she is, gets up high, and really comes straight down with that arm. And we've seen plenty of those crazy caroms off the arms of opponents. When they get a hit from her, they jump all the way out of the place. That one almost landed on the scoreboard. We're now tied at 8.
And Nowak only 5'10", and really been impressive for Daemen College this entire tournament.
Falcons misplay that ball at the net. Now a 9-8 lead for Daemen. So Wachi, after a couple of miscues up front, getting it done as a server now. Set from Smith to the near side, and Jackson gets it off Wachi, who wanted to let it go. Touched it, probably would have landed in bounds anyway. We're now tied at 9.
And Devin Jackson's going to be so important. Talking to head coach Donna Paramore earlier today before their semifinal matchup against Marygrove College, she said Devin Jackson's good to go. That knee isn't bothering her. We saw her out a few games during this tournament, but she's all set and ready to play 5 if need be.
Nowak misses that one out of bounds. Now a 10-9 lead for Florida. Jackson set and delivers her serve over. Trying to double the advantage. Ball kept up, forced into the net by Jackson, but no one there to play it off as it hit on the lower portion of the net. Now Vasquez and Wong will check back in, and Vasquez will serve.
Lindsay Nowak just proving her value, on the floor right there. A couple kills, goes to the bench, and Yi Wong, an All-American last year, comes right back in, and the Daemen College Wildcats just spoiled with talent.
From the outside, Drizmala is able to get a deflection there and scores for Daemen. They are now in front 11-10.
You think the Falcons have a little momentum going, and then Daemen takes it back, and then Daemen has momentum going, and then the Falcons take it back. Back and forth, back and forth.
In Pool A play, I've been recommending Paige Tillert take over as the Buffalo Bills long snapper when the season's over. I don't know if you've been seeing that. Anytime she gets the ball, she'll long snap it back to the server on her team. But that time, Florida able to side out to tie the game at 11. And now Rojas will step back to serve for the Falcons.
Certainly a versatile talent for Coach Parisi.
Set to the near side. Wong, soft touch. Florida ready for it. And there's the biggest difference in competition. Now, Daemen's going to get that point. But all throughout this tournament, Wong has been able to just threaten the big spike, scare the opponent, and just tap it over softly. There you saw there were not one but 2 Falcon players ready for it. A pretty good indication there that the level of competition has raised a whole nother level from even where it was yesterday.
And she really does a good job just realizing, hey, you know what? Yeah, the Florida College Falcons are ready for the attack, but they're not ever ready for that. It's hard for teams to defend that little dink tip from Wong, and she makes them pay right there.
Kalina hits that one out of bounds. Good strike, but too much on it. Daemen scores again, now leads 13-11. And Daemen with a chance to open up a real lead here as we're out of the early portion of the match. If Drizmala can keep these serves cranking, and Daemen can open up a 4, perhaps 5-point lead, that may be enough for them to ride the rest of the way. Great play by Tillert to keep it alive. Up front, hit from the right side, finds a home.
Excellent.
Brittany Anthon gets just enough on it. 14-11 Daemen.
Brittany Anthon taking a page from Yi Wong's playbook right there and just dinking it right over that very long Florida College front line for another Daemen point.
And every point that Daemen can keep this rally going will just make it that much more difficult whenever Florida stops it to try to dig themselves out. Set by Smith to the outside. Huge kill there to stop the bleeding by Malaya Kalina, because that prevents a 15-11 situation. Instead, it's still close. You've got the serve, and we remain still pretty early in this matchup.
And that's what good players on good teams do. They turn it around. And that's exactly what Kalina did right there for the Falcons.
Llewellyn sticks that one right on the line. Llewellyn has had a few long serves today. Daemen was spectating the game against Marygrove, saw that a little bit, decided to let that go, and they pay a price. An ace for Llewellyn gets them back to within 1. So a quick change in the momentum is now Florida has an opportunity to tie. Tillert with a nice play to keep that alive. Wong with a thunderous kill. She's picking on Rojas. It's a big size mismatch, and it's been effective for Daemen so far, 15-13.
Yi Wong playing very good volleyball in this first game, and see if the Wildcats, if they can still press ahead, and they've been maintaining this lead for the majority of the later part of this first game so far.
Block at the net, going up to get it is Camille Krim from the back line. Jackson puts that inbounds. Florida point, and it's a 1-point game again at 15-14.
And you can't blame Paige Tillert right there for Daemen. That's very hard to judge. I had the velocity and had the height to possibly go beyond the end line, but Devin Jackson, just a perfect hit right there.
Kalina's serve perfect, but quickly back with a jam there was Yi Wong, and it's just in time as she's headed back to the bench. But boy, did she make an impact on her way out.
Oh my goodness, and Yi Wong last year against these Falcons had 12 kills in that game in that national championship win, and playing very excellent volleyball in this first game.
Something tells me these aren't all going to be decided with 25 points.
Probably not.
Hit from the right, kept up by Tillert. To the outside, and we had 2 touches called. And the point goes to Florida just before Anton was going to look for a kill. Substitution, Rojas, who's been victimized by some of those spikes, will come out. Abby Worsfold will check in. Worsfold will play the front line. And back to serve is senior Laura Smith. Tercer to the right. Nowak a little short with that. Into the net, and we're knotted at 16.
Camille Krim and Charlotte Worsfold, do a great job combining for that block right there on that play. And I mean, yeah, there's clearly no favorite right now, John. I mean, it could be a coin flip for who you think is really going to win this match, and really exciting start so far. Very, very happy with the production from both these teams.
Mistake there by Worsfold, who just came in off the bench as she's whistled for a carry. Now a 17-16 lead for Daemen. Anton will go back to serve. Her strike makes it over. Set in front by Smith to the near side. Tapped over, flailing to get the ball was number 6, Lindsay Nowak, keeping it alive. Nowak diving for that one, as was Wachi, keeping it alive. But eventually they're called for 4 touches, and it's a Florida point. Chelsea Tercer going to the dive to keep that off the floor.
And actually the refs ruled that hit the ground. Paige Tiller making a case, trying to see if she got her hand underneath. It did sound like the ball hit the floor of the gym here at the Ruse House.
Nowak pops that right into Kalina's arms. Kalina ready with a spike. Kicks it back for Anton, who keeps it alive from the middle. Wachi able to get it. Nice play there by Kalina to keep the ball alive. How many times do you see those go wild off that initial contact? Drizmala off a deflection, drops it right in front. So tremendous effort there by Kalina, but ultimately Daemen comes away with a point anyway. Now leads 18-17.
It's Brittany Anton, it's Yi Wang, it's Caitlin Wachi, it's Lindsay Nowak. The Daemen Wildcats just have the front line that can compete with the Falcons' front line as well. Both very talented, both front lines very talented, very deep.
Both teams vying for that at the net. The momentum of the ball headed toward the Daemen side, and Savannah Gorman took advantage of that, went up with both hands and just plopped it right in the breadbasket of Mackenzie Kanicki. That serve lands inbounds for an ace. Big swing for Daemen. Instead of a 1-point game, it's a 3-point game, and that forces the first timeout from Coach Paramore's bench. 20-17, Daemen with the lead.
Now, we saw that earlier with the Falcons. Their serve barely stayed in bounds on the Daemen College side of the net. But right there, that was a little more crucial just because it's so late in the first game, and every point, this is a match where every point is just so crucial and so important. Florida College, obviously, they want to get that first national championship and knock Daemen off of the top. But Florida College can't make mistakes like that if they're going to return the favor to the Wildcats this year.
Well, we've seen one of those either way. Daemen had a similar play where they were looking at a serve from Lou Allen. They let that fall in for an ace, so those cancel out, and it's a 20-17 game. Anyway, you slice it, a 3-point lead for Daemen. From the near side, Jackson, was that touched? Looks like it may have been. They do say a touch in the middle there by Anton. Now a 2-point lead as Florida comes out of the timeout, gets the first point.
Captain Jackson steps up with a big kill right there out of the timeout.
And now we'll see if she can get momentum from the service line. Pop to the outside, big kill by Nowak. Nowak has excelled from that spot in this tournament, and seeming like we've been there before. It was Wong making a big kill and then coming out for a substitution. There, Nowak does it as Wong comes back in, and Vasquez goes back to serve.
Just spoiled with talent, John.
21-18, the Daemen lead. Set to the far side. Nice hit by Kalina, kept up by Tillert to the outside. Wong off a deflection, off 2 deflections. They do get it across. Excellent job by the defense of Florida to stand up to that one. Kanicki gets it over. Pass to the right side for Jackson, who gets a good hit to the back line. They'll set up to the middle. Once again, Kanicki gets it over. They've got to save this one, keep it up in the air, and they do. Florida back on its heels right now. Daemen on the attack. Here's Wong again. Softer tap. Jackson ready for it. They'll set up in the middle now. An attacking opportunity and a kill there. And you wonder, should Daemen's Wong have just gone for the plain old spike right there?
You know, I mean, the thing is the Falcons blockers, they were up there. Their hands were up. She read the defense. She read what the Falcons were bringing. She tried to dink it over. But the Falcons wisely, though, Devin Jackson, Laura Smith, Olivia Llewellyn moved up, and they were able to defend Juan's little dink and dunk.
Rojas to Tillert. Now Wong goes to the old-fashioned way. Gets it over. Great save by Jackson to keep it alive. And another striking opportunity. Drismala block. Tillert keeps it up. Trick set. They're able to keep it alive. Set across. Tillert plays it deep in the corner. Might have gone out of bounds. Wong with a soft tap to Jackson. To the middle. Smith gets a piece of it to keep it up. From the back, coming over with the hit is Anthon. Set up in the middle. Hit over and just dropped in front of Tillert there by number 7, Savannah Gorman. So Gorman really an afterthought in a play like that where the star player is handling it over and over again. And Tillert just crept back a little bit too far. Gorman slips one right in front, and we have a 21-20 game.
And Savannah Gorman's averaging about under 1.5 kills per set coming into this tournament this year. And she's been huge, I mean, for the Florida College Falcons through pool play in the quarterfinals, in the semifinals win against Marygrove College, and comes up with a big point.
Wong comes back with a big, loud answer directly in front of Olivia Llewellyn. Daemen, despite all the rally by Florida, continues to hold a 2-point lead, and they will send Amber Drismala to the service line. Drismala has been their most effective server in this first game, carried them through that big rally between 10 and 15 points that gave them the lead that they've yet to relinquish. 22-20 the advantage right now. Rojas with a bad play. They're going to have to rush to get that back over, but they will. Excellent compensation by Florida. Wong with a very soft tap lands on her own side of the net. So Wong has tried to deceive a Florida team that really doesn't seem like it's going to be deceived. So if that's the case, you'd like to see her just go more to the spikes because that's her advantage here is the strength.
And I think you're right with that, John. I mean, I think she's really thinking about it too hard on whether she should spike it or just hit it and just dink it over the top.
What she's doing has been tremendously effective against other teams, but none of those other teams were as good as the one they're facing right now. 22-21 the score. Hit by Anthon, gets across. Smith sets it up to the backside. Kalina comes up with a near kill, and it is a kill as diving all around was Drismala. Couldn't get herself up in time to go get it for the third hit. She says, my bad, as she gets herself up off the ground. We are now knotted 22 up, and we have now got a timeout called by Daemen. What a game this is already.
And the Falcons showing absolutely no fear at this part of the game. They're down by 3 points. Daemen was up 21-18. Florida College now comes back to a 22-22 tie. And this game, probably, you're right, John. I mean, we're probably going to have at least one game that goes over 25 points. And this first game could certainly go over 25.
That's what we're expecting. So this could be the best $6.95 you've ever spent. Don't forget, fans, you can capture all the memories and highlights from this national tournament on high-quality video and audio commentary. All matches are available for purchase from Tourbeau Sports. Head over to our website at www.tourbeausportsgroup.com after the game to learn more. Back to live action here as Florida going to serve with an opportunity at the lead. Llewellyn gets it across. Tillert digs it out. Pass to the left side. Block at the net. They're going to set up for Wong on the backside. She's going to bring it this time. Tapped up in the air. Llewellyn with a diving play. Can Rojas get it across? She cannot. Rojas got to it, made contact, but was only able to send it in the direction of her own bench. 23-22. Now the lead for Daemen.
And Olivia Llewellyn was kind of slow getting up right there. An excellent effort by Llewellyn diving on the floor. Rojas, though, was kind of put in an awkward position. Just the way the ball bounces, John. That's how it goes.
Pass to the middle and straight up stuffed. There is number 9, Malaya Kalina. The front line really rising up, led by number 5, Caitlin Wachi. Daemen gets its 24th point. Florida, even though they're not playing badly, will cash in that second timeout right now. 24-22 the score. We'll take a quick break and come back for the exciting conclusion of Game 1. You are watching the championship game of the 2013 USCAA Volleyball National Tournament in Canton, New York on the Tourbeau Sports Group Network. (24-22) the lead for Daemen as Paige Tillert puts her serve over. Daemen hoping to win it right here. Tillert diving play to keep it up. Wachi gets it over. Tillert back to her feet, ready to play. The hit is out of bounds and long. What a save by Paige Tillert to keep that play alive.
Oh, my.
And they're going to call a deflection at the net. Daemen was celebrating a Game 1 win. Instead, the point will go to Florida. Truncated celebration, and Daemen now have to get ready and go get another point to win this thing. That's got to be awfully tough to come down from that emotional high and have to go get another point right away against a team this good. Long unable to do it there, and we are tied at 24. What an incredible twist here in Game 1.
We're going to 26, baby, at least.
At least.
Yeah, I mean, on that previous play, though, Paige Tillert, I mean, she had an incredible dig, kept the Daemen Wildcats alive, and I mean, Wildcats obviously thought they were walking away with a Game 1 win, and now here's Florida College and tying it up at 24 points apiece.
Malaya Kalina with a chance. We've got 25-24 on the scoreboard now. That's not the score.
You sure about that, John?
No. I mean, I've been following the score the whole game. You never know what's going to come from downstairs. But 24-24 is what we have on our graphic bar. That fits the story of the game that we've been telling you this whole time. But right now they've got a 25th point up there for Florida right now. Should be even at 24. Not really sure why this is an issue. And now they will correct it. 24-24 is the score on the board. And it's going to take two from Malaya Kalina in order for Florida to come from behind and steal Game 1. They've trailed for most of it since we got to the 10-point mark. Trailed 24-22 out of a timeout. Soft tap. Kept alive. On the other side, Drizmala dives, can't get to it. Big slam by Camille Krim. Florida's got 3 in a row and a chance for the win here, and what incredible ramifications this could have on the overall championship match. Daemen within a fingertip, literally, of a Game 1 win, may instead end up losing it on 4 straight points unless they can come up with it here. Tillert to the outside, knocked over by Anthon. Set to the outside. Tapped over, Krim, set, quick set to the back, going over to get it is Florida. We've got,
oh my goodness.
What do we have there?
A double hit called against the Falcons.
And not only will that tie it, but it will force 2 points for the win. Again, you have to win by 2, so we're now knotted at 25. We'll need at least 27. Daemen makes his substitution, putting in Tercer over Wong and Nowak over Vasquez. Tercer serve grasps the net and makes it over to the outside. Jackson setting up, gets it blocked back at her. Ball kept alive, diving play, but tumbling under the net in order to do it was Tercer, pushing the ball through. It's now a 26-25 Florida lead. And Florida gets another chance to clinch. Daemen had a shot at it at 24-22, couldn't slam the door. Tillert into a troublesome spot. They've got to get this over. Drizmala, a long hit, is able to save it for now. Jackson from the outside comes up with a kill, and Florida comes from behind to take Game 1, scoring 5 of the match's final 6 points. They take it 27-25. What an incredible twist. You had Daemen jumping up and down, celebrating as though it had won, and then they end up losing in extra points.
And remember last year, though, Florida College actually took Game 1 against Daemen. So, obviously, this series is nowhere near over. But you got to love this, though, John. The largest lead in that first game was 3 points. Both Florida College and Daemen had opportunities to win it earlier.
The all-tournament team, portions of it are being announced because not all of these teams will stick around for the whole time. Kara Kempinski of Marygrove College, a very deserving award winner. She's being presented with her award in person and photographed down on the court. And we're going to try to catch the next one that's being announced. Brittany Alexander from Rochester College also turning in a tremendous tournament. Classy move by the USCAA. Usually this is something you would do after the tournament's over, but they want to be able to present as many of these awards in person as possible.
Well, it's a heck of an effort by these players. And, I mean, the Kempinskis, specifically from Marygrove, Brittany Alexander from Rochester College, getting their well-deserved awards and making the all-tournament team.
And how about
congratulations to those two.
The two rival players posing for a photo with one another. That's when you know there's some serious respect involved there. We're going to take a quick break. 27-25, Florida steals the silverware in game one. More exciting volleyball when we come back. You're watching the 2013 USCAA Volleyball National Championship game on the Tourbeau Sports Group Network. Welcome back. We've still got over a minute on the clock, but both of these teams are eager to get back out and keep playing. Florida College looking to sustain its momentum. Daemen just looking to shake it off. Normally we would say, oh boy, that's the kind of a loss that can really hurt you, that can really get you down. Still all smiles over on the Daemen bench. They know they're good enough to compete and win, and they're going to come back out, and they're going to try to do that right here.
Oh, absolutely. Daemen College is just so talented, and same with Florida College as well. I mean, both these teams have combined for the last 4 national championships. Of course, Daemen winning last year, Florida College winning the 3 previous years. Still a lot of volleyball to be played and a lot of close calls to be had.
John Cabral alongside Sean Tehan as we start game number 2. Another diving play made by Tiller. Drizmala looking for the kill, can't get it past Olivia Llewellyn, who is very, very good playing that back line. But a kill coming from the right side, registered by Li Wong, and it's now a 1-0 Daemen lead in game 2.
And I'm interested to see how Yi Wong really approaches this second game. You saw her trying to deceive the opponents like she has done the entire tournament. Let's see if she sticks with just the spikes, though, the rest of this match.
Diving play by Vasquez, but Florida very quickly able to send it back over, so we're tied at 1, as we so often are. We've been tied numerous times already, and it's only fitting that we are again. Much of this day will probably be played from either a tie score or within 2 points, one way or the other. Game 1 going 27-25 to Florida College. Tip off the net. Vasquez keeps it back. Drizmala knocks it over. Rojas gets it started to the near side. Do we have a touch there? We do. It'll be a Daemen point, and they now lead it 2-1. Amber Drizmala set to serve. She'll take 3 walking steps up and put a soft floater over the backside of the floor. Nobody home there. Rare mistake there, as Kanicki was in the area, but no one made the play, and now we're knotted at 2.
Malia Kalina doing a very good Yi Wong impression and deceiving the Daemen Wildcats and getting that point for the Falcons.
Diving play made by Drizmala over to the right side, tipped at the line and falls behind Smith, and we're tied again, 2-2. Excuse me, Daemen now taking a 3-2 lead.
And Coach Donna Paramore trying to instruct her backline defense to get up and be ready for those attacks from the Wildcats.
And now we're tied as Paige Tillert serves out of bounds.
We've had so many ties, countless ties. I've lost complete count. I lost complete count once we got to 10 points in the first game between these two teams.
Kalina sends it over. Play made by Drizmala right by the wall. Off the side. Hit strong. Going down to get it is Vasquez. Coming up from the right side. Kill attempt by Anthon, but kept alive. Jackson drops it over. Drizmala off the net and unable to dig it out was Caitlin Wachi. Florida now back in front, 4-3.
An excellent effort on the Wildcats side. Just the ball unable to bounce in their favor.
Long serve over everything, out of bounds. Tough break there by Kalina. A chance to make some real headway early in the match. They do not. Substitutions, Vasquez and Wong again step out for Tercer and Nowak. Tercer will serve with the game tied at 4.
Chelsea Tercer had 31 assists in a game against Embry-Riddle College back in October of 2012.
Big time kill right there from Camille Krim, putting Florida on top 5-4. Abby Worsfold replacing Paula Rojas. Set out to the middle, and the hit will be touched on its way out of bounds. Score it for Daemen, and we're knotted at 5. Anthon back to serve. Anthon serve and play. Set up by Smith to the outside. Blocked back off the spike attempt by Krim. Daemen scores and leads 6-5.
Daemen just plays with such great intensity, and that's what Rochester coach David Crump was telling us about before the semifinals matchup between Daemen and Rochester earlier this afternoon. And Daemen just so much
Jackson,
intensity.
but it hits the support, and it's blown dead there. One of the ground rules here, because those rubber straps are only on one side of the floor. In order to have some fairness there, the ball blown dead whenever it touches. Now 7-5 in favor of Daemen. But it all works out because the next serve goes straight into the net from Anthon. Now a 7-6 game with Camille Krim to serve for Florida. Krim sends over to Tillert. Set up to the near side. Nowak off a deflection. Goes to the back line. Smith bumps it to the center. Jackson flies in for a hit. Tillert keeps it up. Set to the middle. Wachi tried to kill it. Could not. Push up to the front. Knocked over by Molina. Hit to the right side. Diving attempt, but no contact as it falls just in front of Smith. And now it's an 8-6 lead.
And Laura Smith just caught in a bit of an awkward position on the backside defense for the Falcons, and Wildcats able to get the easy kill on the attack.
Contest at the net. Somehow Nowak able to keep that one in play, and Kanicki able to get it over. They do it matter-of-factly, but a big play that was. Nonetheless, Florida able to finish off the point.
And Devin Jackson, good job sticking with that. Even after the tremendous play, the tremendous dig right there by the Wildcats junior outside hitter, Lindsey Nowak.
1 point deficit for Florida as Jackson puts it in play. Set to Nowak, and she gets blocked at the net.
And Paige Tillett for the Wildcats really just didn't have time to react to that quick block along the Falcons' front line. Got one right in the face, as our producer Brian Schnee is telling me.
8-8 the score. Jackson sends it over. Set straight in the air. Over to the right side for Anthon. Popped up to the outside, tapped over. And a carry will be whistled on Florida. Point scored by Daemen, as they will get Wong and Vasquez back in. Vasquez will serve. Daemen now with a 9-8 lead.
And right there on that attempt by the Falcons, that's the problem when you try to deceive on an attack, is you may hold on to that ball a little bit too long and it'll be a point in favor of the opposing squad.
Contact there in front of the net by Kanicki on its way down. Florida evens the score at 9. Paula Rojas will go in to serve, and she will remain in until it's time to go to the front line, at which point Abby Worsfold in all likelihood will go back in keeping with the substitutions they've been making throughout the tournament. Tillett up ahead. Vasquez sets outside for Wong, and Wong able to get a kill there. Haven't seen one of those in a while, so Florida was a step late on it. They've got to button that up. Had Kalina and Jackson both trying to go to the same spot.
You can never fall asleep when Yi Wong is on the attack. You always have to keep an eye on her and see where she is on the floor. She's just makes such an impact every game of every match for Daemen College.
Set to the middle. Kanicki blocks it. Tillert can't get it across. That was one touch too many. Now Florida will substitute Camille Krim back in. And stepping back to serve is the libero Olivia Llewellyn, one of the many senior leaders on this squad. Off the block, here's Tillert. Bumps over to Wong. Wong rejected at the net. Tillert going to try it again. Sets up to the backside. This time Anthon can't get it to go. Blocked straight back by Laura Smith, and Florida goes on top 11-10.
Coach Donna Paramore is so animated on the Florida College sideline. I just absolutely love it. I mean, she's slapping hands with her assistant coaches and her players, and you got to love the intensity and the energy that she brings. She's been doing it for 15 years.
Heads up play by Kanicki. Looked like that serve was going to go straight into the net. Florida does get the tally, though, and now lead 12-10. Daemen doing a lot of things that would have gotten them points earlier in this tournament, but Florida just a whole nother story. Vasquez sets up for Wong. Wong comes up with a kill off the hands of Rojas. It's a matchup that's been very good to Daemen so far today.
If you just keep setting up Yi Wong for Daemen, it's really you're gonna find yourselves winning most of those battles. She's just so good up front.
Set to the right, and we have a whistle for 2 touches. Daemen's going to get the tally, and we are tied once again at 12.
And last year in the second game between these two teams, Florida and Daemen College tied 8 times in the second game alone. It just seems like a mirror image of last season, John.
Tillert ready to go. Her serve makes it back to her libero counterpart, Lou Allen. Big hit from the right side, dug out by Vasquez. Wong just with an overhand hit to keep it up. This one might work. Jackson able to get it over, does stay in bounds. Nice recovery by Florida. Hit from the right side by Wong. That one is out of bounds, to the delight of Olivia Llewellyn, who bursts out jumping up and down as this Florida team really starting to get into it, knowing they have a chance now to jump up 2-0 against a very strong opponent. It would be a huge advantage to get yourself into that situation.
Olivia Llewellyn, the senior libero from Maumelle, Arkansas, just really an unsung hero on the Falcons as Daemen College ties that up right there. She has saved so many points on so many different occasions for Florida College, not just in this game, but throughout this entire tournament.
Caitlin Wachi comes back with the kill, and now Chelsea Tercer in to serve. 13-13 your score in game 2. Tercer's serve is over. Bump to the side for Jackson. Set, and Tillert runs in after the set was a little too far to just bump it across. Block at the net, contested at the net again. That one finds a spot, and Daemen will go back in front 14-13.
That was poorly executed right there by the Falcons. They just fed that point right there to Daemen College along that front line. Easy kill on the attack from the Wildcats front line again.
Smith with a set back to Jackson. 2 players go up to get it. Jackson's drive is stopped, but that time Tillert catches one right in the stomach. Solid hit coming from the backside of the play by Camille Crum. We talk a lot about Jackson, but Crum, when she can find some room to work, has done some impressive things.
And it looked like Crim put a little bit extra mustard on that attack right there, and knowing how important every single point is, how at this point in the game we're a little past the midway point of game 2, and didn't want to let Daemen get a 2-point lead.
Crim puts that one over. Now Wachi a chance, and Wachi's able to knock that off Kalina into the Florida bench. 15-14, the Daemen lead. I think I'm starting to get seasick.
It's just
all
so
back and forth.
That's so right. Back and forth. That is right.
Sent to the far side, blasted by Crim, handled in the back. Now Rizmala pops it over. Jackson another try. Tillert keeps it alive. Popped up in the air. Forward, Jackson with a soft tap off the heel of her hand. Daemen ready for it. From the near side, Nowak blasts it just inside the back corner, beating Llewellyn by a step. 16-14, the Daemen lead. And we have reached a point in this tournament now where 2 seems like a huge lead.
That's such a tough shot to execute along the baseline, and it's so tough because usually there's a defender right there along that baseline, but Melina Kalina just really awkward approach to it because she had to swing her arms from right to left, and really hard for her to get that hit and return that volley.
Now, this just isn't fair. We come all the way out here. We'll talk about this in a moment as Tillett loses the play. We put all this production together, Wirecast, camera, audio mixer, headsets. We've got a guy showing this game to somebody on FaceTime. Are you seeing this?
Yes, I am.
About 8 rows in front of us, there's somebody watching the game on FaceTime. We can see her face, whoever it is, and he's got the outer camera on his iPad going, and he's just showing the game there. Shenanigans.
They don't get the broadcast like
that's right.
You do right here on Tourbeau Sports Group Network, though, John.
16-15, the score. 2 hits called there, and Daemen will go back on top by 2. I'm going to try to figure out who she's rooting for based on her facial expressions now. I'm transfixed here.
And Savannah Gorman right there after Daemen College gets that point. Very frustrated with herself, clearly showing frustration.
Diving play made, but a collision between Tercer and Nowak. We play on as that hit is long and out of bounds.
Florida College needs a timeout right here.
And you may get one. They have 2, and they'll use one right now. 18-15, the lead for Daemen. Can Daemen even this back up, or will Florida go out and take a 2-game lead? They came from behind last time. We'll be finding out soon. We're going to take a quick break, and we will come back. You are watching the live exclusive coverage of the 2013 USCAA Volleyball National Championship game on the Tourbeau Sports Group Network. (18-15), the Daemen lead out of a Florida timeout. Caitlin Wachi trying to pile on. Set by Smith to the middle. Florida in need of this point. Nowak looking for the kill, kept alive by Lou Allen. Set out to Drizmala over the top. Smith to the outside. Jackson off her wrist. Diving play made. They somehow get it back over. Set outside. Jackson again with more on it this time, and she is able to get it just outside the dive of Brittany Anthon, and it's now a 2-point game, and Jackson coming with the serve.
Captain Jackson getting a big point right there for the Falcons. Daemen, they've had 2 leads in both of these games. Largest lead, 3 points. Falcons still in this for sure.
Set over the top of the net. Pushed outside, Drizmala trying to keep the lead. Pushed over by Kanicki. To the middle, quick hit to the back line. Anthon up ahead, and we have...
Looks to be a double hit.
Double hit, going to be a Florida point, and we draw almost even again. 18-17 now the score. Devin Jackson going for the tie. Dugout, set up outside, but a little too high, and reaching over the net that time was number 13, Abby Worsfold. She's whistled for the infraction, would have tied the game.
And Chelsea Tercer, not a very good job right there. She was trying to set up Mackenzie Kanicki, but it was an easy block and it's an easy attack attempt right there from Worsfold. And Florida College just, actually they didn't get a point right there. It was ruled against the Falcons, so Daemen College still up by 2.
Florida scoring that point now, 19-18. Long back into the game as well as Vasquez. Rojas going to serve. Set to the outside for Wong, who blasts that down. It'll go up into the rafters, and just a step late going over to chase it is Lou Allen, who went after it into the Florida College bench, could not run it down. And now 20-18 is the advantage for the Daemen Wildcats.
That was amazing how fast that volleyball went off the arms of Devin Jackson. I mean, so much velocity for Yi Wong, and ever since the first game, we really haven't seen her try to dink and dunk it over the net. We've seen her just straight up spike it over the net in game 2.
Drizmala with a great save there, put over by Anthon. Another diving play from Lou Allen. Hit from the right side. Kept up by Drizmala. Outside Anthon. No. Out of bounds on the block, though. Wise play by Tillert, the senior, letting it drop. And Daemen has got a 3-point lead again at 21-18. Florida does have one more timeout. They elect not to use it here. And that's going to give Drizmala and company a chance to shoot for a 4-point advantage late.
And that was just inches away from being a point for the Falcons. 2-point swing. Difference between a 3-point lead and a 1-point lead.
Big time block by Wong at the net. Puts them on top by 4. Now we do get that other timeout. 22-18 the score. Last time, Florida College was able to come back. Who's to say if it will happen again? But we will remind you that you can order a DVD copy of today's game with all the memories and highlights from this national tournament. All matches are available for purchase on TourbeauSportsGroup.com. Head over there after this one's over to learn more. Teams quickly back out onto the floor. Florida, you may recall, came out of a timeout trailing 24-22 in game number 1. Controversial call on the point that came out of that timeout. Daemen was celebrating as though they had won. Florida got the point, and then Florida ended up getting 4 out of the next 5 in order to go to a 27-25 victory.
And it may have been controversial, but I believe it was the right call. I think that ball was deflected. It looked like that ball was deflected by the Wildcats' front line. And the Falcons able to steal that first game away and get a 1-0 series cushion.
Drizmala gets her serve across. Spike blocked at the net, going to be a Florida point, and it's 22-19. Krim trots back out. Gorman to the bench. 22-19 your score. Olivia Lou Allen trying to get Florida College into the 20s. Her serve is out of bounds. Drizmala wisely letting that one fall wide. 23-19 now the score. Can Daemen slam the door this time? Paige Tillert, the libero, in to serve. Tillert hits that one long, but it's an ace. Misplayed by Malaya Kalina. A big-time mistake by Florida. And Florida now has no choice but to get a side out here and rattle off 5 straight points just to get it back to even.
And that's the second time where we've seen Malaya Kalina in this game misplay it on the back end of the defense for the Falcons.
Krim blocked at the net by Wong. Krim going to try again. Gets that one over the top. Drops it just in front of Tillert. Excellent work there by Krim, working against the very imposing Yi Wong, but able to get that over. Now it's a 24-20 game. And Malaya Kalina will get a chance to atone for her previous mistake if she can get a couple of serves going here in a row. Florida needs her to hit at least 4 consecutively. From the middle, we've got a whistle.
That's a net violation.
Net violation ending game 2. Incredible stuff. Daemen will certainly take it, and the 25-20 victory that comes along with it. And least surprising thing I'll say all day, we're going to go at least 4. Daemen with the win, 25-20, and we are all tied up at 1 going into game 3. It's a good old-fashioned best of 3 now, just like we had in pool play between our top 2 teams of the tournament, Daemen and Florida. We will take a break and come back as game number 3 set to begin less than 3 minutes from now. You're watching the championship game of the 2013 USCAA Volleyball Championships on the Tourbeau Sports Group Network. Game 3 about to get started, and if you just looked at the player reactions down on the court, you would think this was tied at 1, but you'd have it in reverse order because each time the team that's lost the match has actually shown more excitement on their bench than the team that's won it, and that just plays into what we told you on the top, that the situation in the game is not going to matter. These two teams are going to compete at their highest level at all times until one of them ends up winning.
Yeah, both these teams have yet to lose in pool play or at this point in the USCAA tournament. Both swept through their respective pools. Both teams swept through the first couple rounds of the elimination rounds of this tournament. Clearly, these are the two best teams right now in the USCAA, without question.
To say it another way, there have been 27 games played here at SUNY Canton in this tournament. Somebody's lost every one of them. Neither of these teams have lost any of those 27 games.
Unbelievable jobs by both these teams and both head coaches, Mark Parisi and Donna Paramore for Daemen College and Florida College, respectively, doing a great job with their teams.
So game 3, this will set the pivot of what's to come in games 4 and potentially 5. Hit over by Drizmala, popped all the way across. Chance for Daemen to score quickly, goes by the boards. Popped over the top, played from the back. Set to the outside, Drizmala again. There was contact on the way out of bounds, so that will be a Daemen point. And now Vasquez will serve with a 1-point lead.
Just unfortunate right there for the Falcons. I think that ball would have sailed beyond the end line and out of bounds if that wasn't tipped up. Kind of hard to tell with, you don't know if the trajectory would have changed or anything like that.
Now, head coach Parisi, Mark Parisi coming out, as I'm not sure what's going on here, as he is coming out in protest of something. May have been an alignment issue with his own team on the floor. I'm not sure what started this. Paige Tillert started holding her stomach. Either, I don't know if it was to indicate an injury or if it was to some kind of like secret signal from the bench or what the story was. But there's an argument going on now. Two players on Daemen are now instructing him to go over and check out. My best guess is that the rotation must not have been correctly followed. And as such, as soon as someone else offered a serve, the point was automatically awarded to Florida. That's being explained down on the sideline right now. And I've got to say, in a matchup this close, this competitive, where every point counts, the absolute last thing you can do, we talk about serves into the net being giveaway points, but at least then, that's just a physical error. To have an administrative mistake in a game this important is extremely costly.
And as a coach, you can ask for a lineup change also, and it's just a stupid error, really. I mean, that's the best way to put it, John. You can't, like you said, you cannot make the mistakes in a game at this level, really.
You got to have all 100% going. It can't be 99. It can't be 18. It has to be 100. 2-1 now, the lead for Florida. Rojas to serve. Set up in front of the net. Hits strong from the right side. It is in bounds. Brittany Anthon gets that down, and we are now tied at 2.
That was a perfect attack right there by Brittany Anthon. Nothing really the back end of the Florida College defense could do. Would have been hard volleyball to dig up as well.
Paige Tillert getting her serve over. Set to the outside. Spike attempt. Played on by Wong. They need to get it over. Drizmala does that. Set up near side and a block by Wachi at the net as she is able to shut down Savannah Gorman and get the point for Daemen. So despite the crucial mistake, Daemen still with a 3-2 lead and the serve.
Savannah Gorman actually had a mistake going up on that, just misplayed the ball. Had a really good lane to attack and possibly get a kill, but ends up and it happens the same for Melina Kalina right there as well.
Melina's made a couple mistakes like that as this one is worn on. Daemen now with a 2-point lead. And then Tillert delivers that one straight into the net. So really, of the 7 points we got on the board, really 2 big mistakes canceling one another out on each side. 4-3 the Daemen lead as Florida set to serve. Serve put over by Llewellyn. Chasing it down is Vasquez. Wong going to try to turn it into an offensive opportunity, but just has to get it over. Hit back from the other side. Popped up by Drismala. Tillert dives to make a play, and racing in at the last second is Anthon just to salvage the point. Hit back in the other direction. There was a deflection. Ball landed out of bounds, but the deflection means it's a Florida point. We are now tied at 4.
Camille Krim, the senior middle blocker from Madison, Indiana for the Falcons. Tallest girl on this Falcons front line, 6 feet tall, and she's been doing a great job just using all of that 6-foot frame in this match so far.
Falcons stand up to a big blast from Wong,
and
they drop it down soft, so a case of extremes there. Wong went for the big hit. Back the other way, it was Camille Krim getting just enough of a touch to drop it on the other side of the net. 5-4, Florida now in front. Serve just clears over the top of the net. Vasquez backwards out to Wong, and that one gets boxed around into the net. Wong comes through and ties it up at 5.
If I'm head coach Mark Parisi, I just keep telling Yi Wong when she's out there, don't stop attacking, don't stop spiking on the attack. That is the most powerful weapon in her arsenal, and she needs to use that consistently.
And a play like that shows why you never can have enough setting skill on your team to be able to put up a perfect set like that backwards to set that opportunity up worth its weight in gold in a game like this. Now Nowak comes back and finds really the most bare floor we have seen on a kill in a long, long time.
And the Falcons really, they just overplayed that side of the floor, and Lindsay Nowak found the opening on the other side, doesn't go out of bounds, and a good point, a good play right there by Lindsay Nowak.
6-5 lead for Daemen. Ball nearly kept up, but Jackson can't get there in time, and you wonder if Jackson were on 2 good wheels, if the outcome would have been different there. Sustained a knee injury 3 weeks ago and is wearing a heavily braced left knee into this game.
And Coach Dawn Paramore, though, said she is going to be good to go. She said that before the Marygrove game today, and she looked fine out there on the floor, played all the games, and another block by the Wildcats front line.
And Caitlin Watchie giving them a lift here in game number 3 as she's been able to come up with a pair of big blocks at the net. A 5'11 senior middle blocker out of Jamestown, and she's done exactly that. Set to the outside, Anthon. Popped up in the middle. Krim slaps it by Tillert to get Florida back going again. 8-6 now the score. These two teams coming from about as far away as you can in this country. Southern Florida for Florida College. Northern New York, Temple Terrace, Florida for Florida College. Amherst, New York on the other side for Daemen, with the two of them meeting here at SUNY Canton to settle this once and for all, or at least for this year, is 8-7 now the score. Floater serve makes it across. Nowak couldn't get that one to fall. Drismala kept it up. Tillert off the net, just too many touches. Nice responses by the Daemen players to keep that from hitting the floor just the same.
Florida College, they're on a key 3-0 run right now. They're down by 3 points, and smart decision by Donna Paramore on the Falcons bench, not calling a timeout, and Falcons find their way to get back into this third game.
Anthon trying to do a little too much there, hitting that ball too far. Other players besides the normal scorers want to get involved, want to get the big hits, but they've got to remember that the defense on the other side is so good that they probably have to leave the spikes up to the big guns in this game. 9-8 now the advantage for Florida, as they have scored several in a row, and will pick up another there as Nowak's hit is out of bounds. 5 straight for Florida.
This is a big, big run for the Florida College Falcons right now. Daemen, real opportunity to break it wide open. What resilience by the Falcons.
Nowak gets it over. Florida has to rush to bring it back. Krim's able to do that. Tillert sends it ahead. Tercer to the right. Nowak dumps it in front of Rojas. And Paula Rojas has got to be looking forward to this day ending one way or the other, because she has just seen violent spike after violent spike come straight for her knees throughout this game today.
Paula Rojas, I mean, she's a senior defensive specialist. That's what she is in there for Donna Paramore, is to be able to get those digs off of those vicious attacks. But the Wildcats are really taking advantage of Rojas and wherever she is on the floor.
Krim goes right into the net. Wachi comes up with another block, and we're knotted at 10. So Daemen able to survive that torrid pace at which Florida played for a couple of minutes there, turning a deficit into a lead, and now once again we're tied 10-10. Set out to Jackson. Jackson, it'll play off the ceiling, and that will actually help out as it get a favorable bounce for Daemen. They're able to defend. Jackson a soft tap that time. Diving to keep it up was Tercer. Nowak hits on from the right side. Now it's Florida's to clear. Jackson gives it a charge. Was there contact? There was by Chelsea Tercer. And the Falcons go back on top 11-10. Rojas will come out. Worsfold will go back in.
Devin Jackson just proving how important of a player she really is for the Falcons, averaging 3.5 kills a set this year, 4th best in the USCAA, and also 201 digs. Just a very good player on the front and back side for the Falcons.
Contact there would have been a kill either way as it did land in bounds. Nowak coming up with a huge tally there. Now we're knotted at 11. Wachi, who's been so good up in front of the net, will have to serve as Tillert comes off. Almost an illegal hit there, very close for Laura Smith. Daemen to the outside. Nowak gets that one to spin over the net and land. You could try that 100 more times and not be able to do it once.
It's just plays like that. There's nothing really you could do on the Falcons side. It's just the way the ball is spinning, and that time in favor of the Wildcats, and once again they regain the lead.
Wachi able to drop that one on the line, and two extremely good turns of fortune for Daemen put them on top by a pair. This game could very easily be 13-11 Florida on the outcomes of those two plays. Pass to the middle. Jackson livid with these last two plays. Put a lot on that spike. Daemen able to keep it alive. Can Florida do the same? Yes, it gets across the net, and we've got ourselves a serious point on our hands. Drismala blocked at the net, and able to win it over the top is Krim.
You have got to love that battle, John. Back and forth. Great diving efforts by the Falcons' back line of defense. Great job then by the Wildcats returning it, and then excellent awareness by Camille Krim and the front line for the Falcons and finding the opening in the Wildcats area of the court.
Falcons now with a chance to tie. Set up to the right side. Nowak drives that one down, gets the 2-point lead back as Smith just got back on her heels. Wong will come back in, as will Vasquez. Tercer and Nowak will come out after a job well done as they've got their team out to a 2-point lead at 14-12. And now we'll see that offensive focus start to shift away from Nowak back to Wong. Look for Daemen to go to her as often as possible to try to get any points they can, needing 11 more to take a 2-1 lead. Hit from the right side. Played on by Drismala. Here comes Wong with a drive. Picked off the floor by Llewellyn. We've got a whistle, and it's going to be a net violation on Florida. A point for Daemen, and going by the boards was a big play there by Olivia Llewellyn to avoid the spike from Wong.
And actually they called that a double hit against the Falcons. Referees ruling that they caught the Falcons caught the ball and pretty much threw it over the net illegally.
Ooh, Wong gets eaten up there by a quick flick across the net by Savannah Gorman. So those 2 points cancel out. It's now 15-13. And Florida's Devin Jackson, who's been an outstanding server for them in this tournament, will get an opportunity to cut it to 1. Her serve played by Drismala, set by Vasquez, but across the net. Big mistake there by Vasquez. Made it too easy for Florida there.
And right there, Kaylee Vasquez, I mean, she leads this team in assists. She is the best at when she is setting up her teammates like Yi Wong and Caitlin Wachi for those attacks. Poor execution right there, just giving the Falcons a point.
Now Jackson will shoot for the tie. Drismala to Vasquez, much better this time, and that one is out of bounds. The hit too strong from Kanicki, and we are tied at 15.
Good thing we didn't have any replay right there. All the officials saw that ball barely hit out of bounds along the baseline. Tie game.
Vasquez again, this time over to Wong, and Wong gets the kill. So they tried to set up Kanicki the last 2 times, going with the shorter pass, didn't work. That time they flow over to Wong, and she pays dividends, 16-15. Drizmala holds the ball directly in front of her eyes, takes a couple steps, and sets it off. Pass to the outside. Tip up in the air. Vasquez over to the right-hand side. A blast that goes up toward the rafters but does not hit anything. Pass outside to Wong. Soft tap kept alive by Jackson, but that just delays the inevitable as it goes low into the net and down. Daemen now with a 17-15 lead, and Drizmala, who boosted the Daemen offense in game 2, giving them a lead that they were able to ride to a win, is trying to do that again here with a lot less ground to cover. They are just 8 points away this time from taking a critical 2-1 lead, but an unforced error, a service error into the net, makes it a 1-point game. So that was really an opportunity for Daemen with a good server there, typically speaking, to rack up some points. Instead, Drizmala gives one away, ends her turn serving. And remember, every step through the rotation is one step closer to Wong having to come out of the game. Set to the backside. Wong, while she's still in the game, going to be effective as she comes through there with a kill. 18-16 the score. Kanicki comes out. The dangerous Caitlin Wachi steps in. Daemen on top by a pair at 18-16, and Paige Tillert will serve. Tillert gets it over. Bump over to the far side. Kalina crosses. Pass over to Wachi. She gets blocked directly back. Great play by Drizmala to keep it alive. Hit over. Set outside. Kalina again. That one was deflected. It will be a Florida point. 18-17 now the score. Camille Krim checks back in. Back to the bench is Savannah Gorman. Olivia Llewellyn will serve, trying to tie it up. Her serve over everything, and that really hurts. Now a 2-point game plus the Daemen serve, and that will bring Wong and Vasquez out of the game. And the question becomes, can Florida do enough to get the lead back before Wong gets back on the floor?
Well, Wong is on the bench, gives the Falcons quite the opportunity to get back into this game and possibly steal another game away on another possible come-from-behind victory in Game 3.
Set for Wachi, and Wachi fills in admirably for Wong right there. Comes through with a key kill. Daemen gets one step closer to the finish line. 20-17 the lead.
Head coach Mark Parisi for Daemen College loves the effort up front by his team and Caitlin Wachi.
Jackson bumps it ahead too far, and it goes out of bounds. Not only did it go over, it went out of bounds. They tried to set up Camille Krim, and as that timeout happens, you can tell which way momentum's going now as Daemen rifles over to its huddle. Florida just quietly saunters back to its, and now the opportunity here for Daemen really cannot be understated. We knew this was going to be a marathon match coming into today. We knew in all likelihood it was not going to be a sweep. That much we've discovered through the first 2 games. But right now, if you're Daemen, you need 4 points to get yourself to a point where you have 2 shots to win 1 game and be USCAA national champion again here in 2013.
And really, they're putting the Falcons in a tough spot right now. This is their largest lead of this third game, And Daemen, their largest lead of the entire evening has been 5 points. But to be up this much, this good of a team against another good team in Florida College, and being up this much this late in Game 3, incredibly important and incredibly crucial that the Falcons are kind of losing focus, and they need a point big time.
Can Chelsea Tercer keep this going? Smith races over to get it. Kalina crosses. Set to the far side. Nowak gets it past a flat-footed Olivia Llewellyn. It's like Olivia Allen didn't know it was coming.
Yeah, I mean, that was just, once again, just great awareness right there by Caitlin Wachi. And Caitlin Wachi has really stepped up. The senior middle blocker, kind of the more notorious or less notable player on that front line for the Wildcats, and stepping up in a big way with Yi Wong on the bench.
Quick slam from the right side by Krim gets a point back for Florida. Jackson trying to encourage her teammates, being very vocal back there. Walking back to serve is Kalina. This one's still far from decided at 22-18. Right hand hit by Nowak. Krim going for it, and Wachi called for a carry. Florida gets his second straight point and now back to within 3 at 22-19.
I remember earlier in that first game, Daemen led 24-22, and then Florida came all the way back, took it to some extra points, and won 27-25. Falcons could very easily do the same thing here in Game 3.
Hit over the middle by Anthon. Now Krim coming back. Great diving play made by Tercer to keep it alive. Now Nowak puts it right in the stomach of Malaya Kalina and comes up with a crucial 23rd point.
Malaya Kalina has 187 digs this year. That's third best on the team to Devin Jackson and Olivia Llewellyn, but she has really struggled on the backside of the Falcons defense when defending spikes from Yi Wang and Caitlin Wachi and company.
From the outside, Jackson put a ton on that, pops right back over to him. Let's see if they can set up Krim now. And that one worked in tandem because you saw Tillert still on the ground from defending that first spike. The ball popped straight back up over the net and allowed Florida to move quickly and get the ball over to Krim, who comes up with the kill. Now it's 23-20. Laura Smith will serve.
Falcons had a 5-0 run earlier in this game, and they need another big run right here if they're going to steal this away from the Wildcats.
Same thing there. Too quickly does Daemen put the ball back over the net on a first hit, and it allows Florida to grab up the scraps, and they do that twice in a row, and now we have a 23-21 game. Smith could cut it to one. She will with an ace.
Man.
Misplayed back there by Tillert as she had Drizmala right next to her. I think just a moment's indecision on whose ball that would be cost them that point. 3 in a row for Florida. They're right back in it. Daemen calls timeout. We'll take a quick break here and come back. 23-22 your score. Daemen in front. Another exciting conclusion coming up momentarily. You're watching live exclusive coverage of the 2013 USCAA Volleyball National Championship game on the Tourbeau Sports Group Network. (23-22) Daemen with a tender lead. 3 straight points for Florida coming back out of a Daemen timeout. It will be Laura Smith offering the serve, trying to get back the tie. Contest at the net, and another excuse me point for Florida as Krim drops it in front. Sean, what can this Daemen team do to stop the ball from going back to the net so quickly?
Well, they got to stop feeding it directly to Camille Krim. I mean, Chelsea Tercer was asking for a net violation, but that was just bad execution right there by the Wildcats.
Play. This is nearly a point for Florida. Barely able to get it back across. Krim in great position to go for a kill. Tillert able to get it back over. Daemen all out of sorts right now. Florida smelling blood. Krim gets blocked at the net, and once again it's Caitlin Wachi has come up huge time and time again in the Game 2 win, and now they're so close to a Game 2 win. Wachi could finish it off herself if she can get a good serve over here. Big individual effort there because the team was not doing it collectively. Now Florida's going to call timeout, and you never know when someone will rise up who isn't one of the usual suspects as a hero on a team, but Wachi has done that several times, and the fact of the matter, if she doesn't make that play individually right there, I don't think Daemen gets that point.
No, not at all. I mean, Caitlin Wachi has only been averaging about 1.7 kills per set this year. That's good for only 4th best on this team, and she is stepping up in a big way, especially with Yi Wang on the bench. And really, I mean, if Daemen College, if they can't secure this win right here, it may be because, you know, Yi Wang's spot in the rotation, and she's on the bench during the most crucial part of a very, very decisive Game 3. A
2-1 series advantage holds in the balance. 24-23, Daemen going for the win. Jackson able to slam it down, and we will go at least 26 for the second time in 3 tries.
And remember, Yi Wang, when she left the game, I believe Daemen College was up 23-19 over Florida College. This would be huge if the Falcons could steal Game 3 away right here.
Camille Krim, the biggest reason we're still playing, gets the serve over. Drizmala blocked at the net, but it's blocked out of bounds. So Drizmala comes up with a kill there. And Daemen back in front, 25-24, and just in time, Vasquez and Wong come back onto the court for Daemen. We asked if Florida would be able to take the lead while they were out. The answer, close, but no. And now Daemen will get a shot at the win with a 25-24 lead. Ace.
Oh.
Game over. 25-24, a 2-1 lead for Daemen. They survive a big-time scare here in Game 3. And you can, on the one hand, make the argument that they should have swept because they very, very nearly were a fingertip away from winning Game 1. On the other hand, you can be a Florida fan and say, hey, we should have won this Game 3. We should be ahead 2-1. And what you have instead is a 2-1 lead for Daemen after a 26-24 win. And we go to Game 4, both of the wins in the odd-numbered matches going beyond 25 points. Just an amazing start to a much-anticipated matchup here today.
And the thing is, the Falcons, yes, they are down 2-1. They have some very simple adjustments they need to make. First of all, they need to adjust that backside of the defense. I mean, it just lost them the game right there. There's just miscommunication between Olivia Llewellyn and Devin Jackson. And then earlier, we've seen Melina Kalina struggle on the backside of the defense, not being able to dig out attacks from the Wildcats front line. And this is such great volleyball right now. It's kind of a mirror image of last year. You know, Florida College, they took a 1-0 lead in the best-of-5 series against Daemen, and now Daemen storming back and taking a 2-1 lead.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back quickly with Game 4. First, we want to remind you, don't forget, you can capture all the memories and highlights from this national tournament on high-quality video and audio commentary. All matches are available for purchase from Tourbeau Sports. Head over to our website at www.tourbeausportsgroup.com. That's T-O-U-R-B-E-A-U to learn more. We'll take a quick break and be right back. 2-1 lead for Daemen. Can they close it out? We'll find out soon. Welcome back as we move on to game number 4. Daemen has rallied from a first set loss to come back with back-to-back victories of 25-20 and 26-24. And they are now ahead 2-1, and they will get 2 shots at 1 win to win the championship. This is best of 5. If Florida is able to recover here and force a 5th set, that would be first to 15 to decide a champion. This is exactly what the USCAA had in mind when they seeded this tournament, putting Daemen at 3, Florida at 2, keeping the two of them away from each other in pool play, knowing that this could very well be a championship matchup, and here it is.
And with all due respect to the other 8 teams that were in this USCAA national tournament, Florida College and Daemen College are just proving right now these were the 2 best teams in the USCAA this year. I mean, there's just no question about it. I don't know if you disagree with me, but just proving it, these games have been so close. I mean, a difference of 5 points between these 2 teams.
Quick kill by Florida as they are quick to get up off the canvas and into game 4. They score first. And these games just, you might get a brief run here or there. We had a 5-point run in the last match, but you just have to scrap for any point you can get and just throw it into the bank. You're trying to get to 25 any way you can. And it isn't always pretty here, but Daemen's found a way to do it now twice to Florida's once. Long with a deflection gets that one down, and the kill evens the game at 1 aside. Now Drizmala will serve. The teams have switched sides. Daemen on the left in blue and white. Florida on the left, on the right in black and red. Daemen on your left. Set to the near side. Jackson gets it over. Tillert digs it out. Drizmala over top. Passes it back to Llewellyn. Florida with it. Jackson going for the kill, and she will spot that just inside the back left corner. 2-1 Florida lead.
Excellent job by Devin Jackson, hitting the corner of the Wildcats' side of the net and getting Florida College on top.
Now Laura Smith to serve with her team ahead by a point. Set to the outside, softly tapped, diving play made to keep it up. Krim going for a kill, and she's able to fit that in just between Vasquez and Drizmala. Miscommunication between those two. But that may be a little harsh on them because that ball did split the difference between them perfectly.
Oh, absolutely. And these two front lines, I mean, are so talented. These are probably the two best front lines in all the USCAA. A crucial error right there, actually.
Well, an interesting development there. That table was there provided for Marygrove's broadcast earlier in this tournament that would not normally be there, and it's vacated right now. Marygrove not in the game, and both Wong and Vasquez electing not to go NBA player and dive over it to try to make that play. Can't say that I blame them, but that table playing a role in Florida's point there, and Florida now opening up a 4-point lead here early.
And this is their largest lead of the match. Last year, though, the Falcons, they led the Wildcats in the fourth game. The fourth and what ended up being the deciding game as Falcons now take a 5-point lead. But the Falcons actually led the Wildcats by 5 points in that fourth game. And the Wildcats stormed all the way back and took that game and took the national championship.
Yeah, Florida building a big lead here. Got to be tempting to call a timeout there, but these games have all been so close at the finish that Coach Mark Parisi resisting that temptation early, just giving a few words of encouragement to Yi Wong. 6-1 the score. Florida would love to add a 7th. Do they get the opportunity? Kept alive for now. Hit to the outside, bumped up in the air, diving play, and it cannot be played off that side wall, blown dead. So now 6-2. Daemen does get the point they need. Kanicki checks out. Paige Tillert jumps in and will serve. And that's what makes it so very important that Daemen did get the third game, as they've come back now and scored 2 in a row. But if you were down 2-1, then maybe you would go into panic mode, down 6-1. You might burn a timeout there and try to do anything you could to stem the tide of momentum and maybe cost yourselves later not having that timeout available. Instead, they're able to just take a deep breath, keep going, and they come back with at least 2 straight points and maybe 3, although Jackson going to save the day there and get the ball back over to the right side. Wong blocked at the net, and a big-time block there by Krim. A one-on-one matchup. You can see that these Daemen players have been spoiled by Wong. Normally they'd be right up tight to the net expecting the possibility of a block. Wong swings that arm with so much authority they never dreamed it would come right back. They left a little bit of a bubble there, and the ball landed in it. 7-3 lead now for Florida.
And Falcons, they just got to keep pressing and just keep mirroring Yi Wong.
Krim doing a great job against Yi Wong right now for Florida. That hit lands just inbounds, just inside the far sideline. And we'll have that first big substitution now by Daemen as Wong and Vasquez come out. Tercer and Nowak check in. Tercer will serve. And again, what can Florida do with Yi Wong on the bench? Can they advance this lead from the 3 where it is right now before she returns?
They almost stole away game 3 right before this one.
Both players going up for it, and every time Daemen has needed a lift with Wong out of the game, they've gotten it from Caitlin Wachi. That time, no exception, as she wins the jump ball at the net. 7-5 now the score. That'll give Tercer another serve with a chance to make it a 1-point game. Set out to the right side, propped up by Tercer. An incredible play by Tercer. She rolls all the way over to get back up to play it. Tillert able to save it. Getting it over was Nowak. Contested point here, and a big blast inbounds for Devin Jackson. And Jackson able to get Florida's lead back up to 3 at 8-5.
Jackson is so good at attacking along that baseline. That takes such fine technique to keep that in bounds. And Jackson, only a junior, I mean, she's already got that shot mastered.
Set to the right side. Wachi gets another kill off a deflection at the line. Caitlin Wachi making play after play for Daemen College in this championship match has got them to within 2 at 8-6.
And the Wildcats front line so deep with Wachi and Wang and Anthon and Drizmala, but Wachi's usually the forgotten
Tillert
one.
gives chase. Can't get enough on that one to bring it back onto the court. Drizmala couldn't get to it, lands out of bounds. Florida grabs another, and they get up to a 9-6 lead. Now Rojas steps in. Rojas will enjoy this time while she's out there, and Yi Wong is not. As Wong has targeted Rojas time after time. Now Drizmala will go in that direction. Tapped at the line, it gets down. Amber Drizmala, the freshman, coming up with a big tally there. Now it's 9-7. Tillert comes out. They'll go bigger on the front line with Mackenzie Kanicki playing in the middle. Ball in play from Wachi. Set up to the near side. Soft tap. That one's going to fall. Late to recognize it was Drizmala. Well placed from that far side by Melina Kalina. And now 10-7 the lead for Florida.
Melina Kalina with a little finesse touch. We haven't seen really the vicious attacks from Melina Kalina very much in this match, but that's something worth possibly keeping an eye on later in this game and in this match as well.
Drizmala, an overhand blast. Now Kalina hits that one out of bounds. 10-8 your score, and very quickly we blew through that rotation. Vasquez and Wong back on. Florida actually loses 1 point off its lead while Wong was on the bench. And now we will see if Wong can provide some kills and get Daemen some quick points to get them back up to a tie, perhaps give them the lead while she's out on the floor. Smith gives chase. Kalina knocks it over. Tillert to dig. Pass up front. Kanicki blocked by guess who? Camille Krim, who has been the player of the game over on the Florida side today, and they go back on top by a trio.
The middle blocker from Madison, Indiana, playing like a senior. Excellent leadership and veteran presence for the Falcons.
Hit over the top, will land out of bounds. So Wong comes up with a kill there, and it's now 11-9. Drizmala back to serve. Propped up, they're going to call a carry on Smith. Big whistle there brings Daemen back to within one, gives Drizmala a chance to go for the tie.
So much for that 6-1 lead, and Daemen's already back within 1 point.
(11-10). Drizmala puts that one over, slapped over by Smith, and they're going to call another carry on Smith. And that will even this game up to 11. Back-to-back miscues by the senior have drawn this game even, 11 aside. And Drizmala now will try to give her team the lead. Kept up in the air, Krim to the outside. Jackson blocked at the net. Up there was Wong, also Kanicki. 12-11 now the Daemen lead, and not only does Daemen have the lead, but you can start to count the points. They're 13 points away from a USCAA national championship again in 2013.
And they're in the middle of an 11-5 run after Florida College raced ahead to a 6-1 lead in this game.
Set to the outside, Jackson comes through, gets a deflection off Drizmala, and Florida able to stop the trophy talk right away by tying it up at 12. Rojas out, Worsfold back in, and Smith, who made a couple of mistakes up on the front line, will get an opportunity to put her team back in front from the service line. Pass to the outside, Wong, not to be denied, drilled that one down, put it over Kalina's shoulder. I'm not sure Kalina ever saw it. That ball got through in a hurry, and Daemen leads 13-12.
And it's all smiles over on the Wildcat side. I think actually, number one, Kaylee Vasquez got nailed in the head, but she's just laughing it off right now as Daemen
Tillert's
retains
serve
its
hit
lead.
the wrong way. Llewellyn has to just advance it. Jackson gets it over. Now a chance for a kill from the outside. Slapped over. Llewellyn makes a running play, diving play, but it lands on the ground shortly after Smith makes contact. Daemen has all the momentum now going in Game 4. They are riding the crest of back-to-back wins. They have got the lead. They've got a frustrated opponent, and that number to gain gets lower and lower with every point they score. They now need 11 more to repeat as champions. From the hit outside, kept up, bounced to the outside. Right-handed hit kept afloat. Jackson, left-handed touch, beautifully placed in between Vasquez and Anthon. Florida gets a point to stop the bleeding for now. They now trail 14-13. And Camille Krim, who's been their most effective player today, steps back to serve. Drizmala plays it on, set up from Vasquez. Attempted kill by Wachi, kept alive. Tillert bumps it over. Wong, that's a little too low for her to go into a spike. Break there for Florida. Can they make them pay? Jackson will do just that. Tillert just didn't get enough loft on that bump, Sean. If she gets that up a little higher, I bet you that's a kill for Wong.
Oh, absolutely, but it ends up being a kill on the other side for Devin Jackson. Imagine if Devin Jackson with that left knee injury, if she couldn't play today. I mean, she is really keeping the Falcons together right now in this championship matchup.
That one is high enough for Wong, and you see the difference. 15-14 now the lead, and Wong will come out. Replacements check in. Tercer goes in to serve. Nowak as well. Vasquez goes to the bench with Wong. And now Florida trails by 1. Here's a chance for them to make some headway with Wong out of the game. 15-14 the score. Tercer serve over. Set to the middle, and a total whiff on the ball by Savannah Gorman. Gorman has played sparingly today, with Krim commanding most of the playing time, and that's among the reasons why.
And Savannah Gorman's really had a great tournament, but she's been very quiet in this match, and that's not going to go easy with Donna Paramore.
Big hit from the right side by Jackson. She gets blocked, and I'll give you one guess who that was. Caitlin Wachi.
Just had to find the name for a second. The Wildcats are so deep, it's hard to pick out just one girl, but I should have thought it was Caitlin Wachi. That seemed too obvious when
you fed that to me.
the
usual suspects when in doubt. 17-14 the score. Daemen now with what passes for a big lead in a competition like this one.
Unbelievable resilience by Daemen. Florida College raced ahead to a 6-1 lead over Daemen. Daemen now on a 16-8 run, and they are ahead by 3 points against the Falcons. I mean, last year, this is just like the fourth game in last year's Nationals championship game. Falcons led the Wildcats 15-10, and Daemen finished on a 15-4 run to clinch the title. And it could easily happen again right here, John.
Daemen 8 points away. They gain a little more momentum with every point. Chelsea Tercer in to serve now. Tercer scored the last couple. That one just barely kept up. Gorman trying to redeem herself, but that one kept alive. From the outside, Nowak, we have contact. We have a Daemen point, and it's suddenly getting late in the Roos house here in Canton.
Now Daemen, they haven't led by more than 5 points at any point in this match, but you're right, though, before. I mean, Daemen's got the momentum. Florida College is frustrated. It's time for Daemen.
On the right side, Gorman hits that one, does get it to land in bounds, so Florida scores there at 18-15, and you wonder, why is Krim sitting for this long? She's been their best player today. Falcons need her back out on the floor. Served by Jackson, touches the net, goes out of bounds. Big mistake from the junior captain, excuse me.
And we haven't seen many mistakes from Devin Jackson, but that is just so big right now for Florida College.
Set up for Gorman. Gorman, Tillert with a great save. Drizmala gets a piece of it. Tillert gets it back over. Pass to the outside, right-handed slam blocked at the net. Daemen keeping this point alive. Hit to Tillert, kept alive. Out to the right side, Nowak going way back. Smith keeps it up. They need a huge blast to get it over, and it hits it into the net.
Man.
Daemen gets the point. Tillert with 2 huge hits, a gigantic save by Drizmala, and now Daemen just 5 points away. What effort.
You hate to see a negative out of that because the effort was fantastic on both sides. Unbelievable job by the Wildcats. Paige Tillert playing that off of the wall and keeping that in play.
Another misplay, another crucial mistake by Florida, and now Daemen is practically building the platform. Florida uses its final timeout. Mark Parisi comes bursting off the bench with his arms aloft, and you can't really blame Daemen for feeling like they've got this one in the bag right now.
Well, we talked to the assistant coach for the Daemen College Wildcats, Mark Parisi's daughter, Lauren Cooper, before they played earlier in the semifinals today when they defeated Rochester College. And Lauren Cooper, we simply asked her, what's the whole goal? How are you going to regain another national title and keep that crown in Daemen? She said, hey, we're just here to win. And you know what? The Wildcats, the message is clear, and they are playing with some kind of emotion, some kind of intensity, and it's all coming together, John.
21-15 now the score. Just a tidal wave of momentum for Daemen as these games have evolved. And you see a tremendous player in Devin Jackson just making rookie-type mistakes. We've seen 3 straight serves mishandled by Florida. And this one just cascading away from a Falcon team that was so good for so long in this tournament. Smith bumps it to the right. Big slam again. Tillert able to eat it up. Pass to the outside. Nowak to the back line. Bump to the center. Hit over by Gorman. Krim remains on the bench. Right-handed hit by Nowak. Gets a fortuitous bounce off the top of the net. Everything going Daemen's way now, and they have the largest lead that either team has had at any point during this match, and they've got it at the best time you could possibly have it, and that's when you're in position to clinch.
And they're doing this with Yi Wang on the bench, too.
And she might not get off the bench as we have an ace there and everything falling apart for Florida, who has used both of its timeouts already and now just going to have to try to draw on reserves and find a way to come up with 9 straight points. Daemen holding hands on the bench, expecting that winning point, and giving into the moment. Anthon serves the ball into the net. They're all laughs over on the Daemen side right now, but what a huge missed opportunity as now Rojas will serve for Florida. They remain beating by just a tiny bit. Trailing by 8 at 24-16. Rojas to serve, gets it over. We've got that much. Set to the right side. Nowak for the championship. Can't get it to go. 4 touches is the ruling, and it's going to be another Florida point. You knew Florida was not going to go down easy, and they have rebounded to score the last 2 points. Rojas will take a new volleyball and try to run that streak to 3. 24-17 the score. The 9-point spread was the largest lead either way in this entire match. Bump by Tillert, set up for the win. Nowak blocks straight back, but it goes out of bounds, and for the second consecutive year, the Daemen College Wildcats of Amherst, New York are your USCAA National Volleyball Champions.
Unbelievable job by Daemen College. They had the momentum. They had the intensity, and Florida College just mounted so much frustration in that 4th game. It all came together at the right time for Daemen College. It seemed like the ball was not bouncing any way in Florida College's favor. Congratulations to Mark Parisi and the Daemen College Wildcats, USCAA National Champions for the 2nd consecutive year.
I can't help but go back to that 6-1 lead for Florida in game 3. And if they turn that into a win, how much different this whole thing could have been. But just 1 brick at a time, Daemen just kept building momentum, and now here they are as champions.
And for the 2nd consecutive year, I mean, they beat Florida College in 4 games. And Florida College, I mean, in 2012, they were up 1-0 after the first game. This year, they were up 1-0, and Daemen College comes back and sweeps the final 3 games. Just an unbelievable job by the Wildcats. But you know what? Let's talk about the Falcons, though, for a little bit. I mean, still, great team. Donna Paramore's squad. I mean, she's been at Florida College for 15 years. They've won 8 of the last 14 USCAA titles. Still a great program. Fantastic effort on both sides, but congratulations to Daemen College again.
The score is going 27-25, and then in Florida's favor, but then 25-20, 26-24, and 25-17 for Daemen to come up with a victory. Sean, there really aren't enough thank yous to go around between the town of Canton, New York, their tremendous hospitality that they've put up this week, the USCAA running a top-notch tournament, SUNY Canton as an amazing host, and everyone here at Tourbeau Sports Group who has helped make these broadcasts so successful. Just a tremendous top-notch tournament from top to bottom all the way around. And
this tournament will be here again next year, and it's really a wonderful facility. And yes, and I second what all you just said, John.
All right, we want to remind everyone just one last time that you can capture all the memories and highlights from this national tournament on high-quality video and audio commentary. All matches are available for purchase from Tourbeau Sports. Head over to our website at www.tourbeausportsgroup.com to learn more. And for the final time, we congratulate the Daemen College Wildcats, champions of the USCAA volleyball in 2013, winning 3-1 over the Florida College Falcons. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great night, and we will talk to you in 2014 here on the Tourbeau Sports Group Network.